Crystal blessings, everybody. Hibiscus Moon here with hibiscusmoon.com, and I was excited to see that I got tagged by Flora Sage for this intuition challenge. Is that what it's called? Intuitive challenge. And I didn't realize someone told me I got tagged, and I was like, yes, I totally want to do this. This is exciting because this is the kind of thing that we used to do a lot on YouTube, and maybe it still happens in the community and I'm just so out of it and don't realize it. But it seemed like around 2009, 2010, even 2011, there was a lot of these different tags that you'd get tagged in, and it was just fun to do them and be a part of all this, the fun of watching everybody else's and doing your own. And then it kind of seemed to go away. I don't know, again, if I'm just out of touch. But so anyway, I was excited to see that I got tagged. So thank you, Flora. That was so kind of you to think of me for this. And I'm excited to do it. So all of these are off the top of my head pretty much. I was just read the questions. I was like, okay, I can do this, but I hope I can do the questions justice because I feel like on some of these I'm not the right person to answer them, but I'm going to throw my answer in the hat anyway. The one question that I did prep for is I was like, oh no, I got to think about this one. And what do you think it was? The crystal question. So I went and got a couple of specimens, but the rest we're just going to run through these. And then I'm going to say it now as far as who I'm going to tag, because a lot of the people who I would think to tag have already done this. And I did my research and I watched yours and they were quite good. Thank you so much for your answers and ideas and inspiration. But a lot of the other people that I would think of aren't doing YouTube videos anymore. So you know what I'm going to do? Well, I'll tell you at the end. All right, so number one, share your first paranormal experience that comes to mind. And the first thing that comes to my mind is when I saw a UFO when I was 3 years old. What I still think to this day was a UFO or possibly more than one experience that started when I was about 3. It never like escalated to contact or anything like that. But it did, a number of other incidences have happened over my lifetime as far as seeing UFOs. I already did a video kind of explaining that whole experience, so I'll probably just tag that somewhere. I'll put this on my blog too, so I'll put a link to that video if you want to know more about what I saw when I was 3 years old. UFO, quite interesting. Number two, have you ever had a premonition? Okay, let me think. I didn't actually give any thought to this. I have had many premonitions, several premonitions. I wouldn't say like many, but several. But I don't like write them down, and I can't think of any off the top of my head, but like when something will happen that'll trigger that memory of that premonition, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember one time I had a premonition about this or that. And they seem to happen in clumps of like groups of synchronicities happen at a certain time depending on whatever I'm tapping into at that time. I guess I'm in a good vibrational alignment at that time, and I'll have like clumps of synchronicities that are all happening at the same time, like dreaming premonitions or just thinking things. Or I mean, that happens all the time where you go, I knew that was going to happen. I totally knew that was going to happen. And I wonder how many times I think it was just oh, I knew that was going to happen using logic, or if it's actual premonition, or what's the difference, right? So I don't have a specific event that I can pull off the top of my head right now. Maybe I'll think of one as we go through. All right, next question. When did you get your first tarot oracle deck, and what deck was it? Okay, I didn't get my first deck very long ago. I think my first deck was in 2007, and I'm pretty sure it was Adoring Virtue, Mermaids and Dolphins deck. Pretty sure that was my first one. And I'm thinking 2007 because I put it on my YouTube channel as one of my very first videos and did some readings for a couple of people that I knew personally, and they're probably private, so you probably won't find them. But some of you might remember that. And the Mermaid and Dolphin deck was calling to me because I've always, since I was a child, been in love with mermaids, and then wanted to be a dolphin trainer when I was in high school. So that deck was, I still use it today for most of my nighttime, like pull a card for the next day type of thing. It's by my nightstand. So that was my first one. I've never had a tarot deck. I've never been drawn to tarot. I do get readings from time to time from tarot readers, but it's not something that's on my journey as far as learning. I'd rather leave that to the experts. So I don't have my own tarot deck. Never had one of those. All right, what element do you connect with the most? Earth, fire, water, air. I'd say it's a toss-up between earth and water. And I'm probably going to go with water right now. I live 1 mile from the beach, have done so most of my life here in Florida, and I've been going to the beach a lot more lately. It's one of the places I like to make sure usually is nearby when I'm on a vacation, and I don't want to leave the ocean. Like if I moved anywhere, although Arizona is very, very exciting and magnetic to me, I don't think I could ever live there full time because I'm not close to the water. I need that connection to the water. I love to swim. My totem animals in the water, I'll talk about that later because I know that's one of the questions. Snorkel, dive, I like to be near the water. So I'd say probably I'm going to go with water element, although I love earth element quite a bit as well. All right, next one, do you believe in fairies? Now that's a good one. I thought about it for a split second and then I said, okay, I'll think it out on camera. Do I believe in fairies? So, well, first of all, my first question to myself is, what is a fairy? And I'm not sure I really know what that is. I've never actually, of course, I don't believe they're Tinkerbell type beings, although some people might. I believe they're more like nature spirits or devas. And have I experienced that? Yes, because I do love connecting with nature quite a bit. My backyard and even my everyday workspace is very much connected to the outdoor world. And I have had like little experiences here and there where little things happen and you're like, But I think I really need more of a better definition of exactly what a fairy is. I don't work with fairy energy or anything like that, and I have never seen one directly head on or feel like I've had like a really head on, dead on, spot on fairy experience. So I'm not saying I don't believe in them. I have heard enough stories from the community that I'm in, from other people to know that there is other energies out there. Here's the thing where I get stuck on. Is fairy energy or are fairies a specific other being, or are they just the other kind of universal energy that we're tapping into? Does it really get categorized into all these other specific beings? Yes, some teachings say that it does. And some might say, well, gosh, that's really sounds kind of just like, tapping into another dimension there, and that maybe you were just seeing fifth dimension, sixth dimension type of things, or even second dimension type of beings. And so that's why I say I kind of need a definition of what that is, and it's really something hard to define because, in a lot of our definitions, and if we start going into science, and, that's sort of where I tend to lean sometimes, but the bad part about science is that it's so based on the five senses to measure things. Empirical evidence is based on our five senses, and our five senses are extremely limiting. And we know we have more than five senses. I mean, I know we in this community know we have more than five senses. But if we're going to base things on those five senses for empirical evidence, then a lot of things get tossed out. And so I don't really like relying on that. But anyway, that was my long answer. It really wasn't an answer at all to that question, but that's what I have to say about that. Okay, do you prefer the moon or the sun? Again, I was going to wait until I did the video to give an answer on that, and I still don't think I have an answer. I love them both. I make lots of decisions based on lunar energy and what's going on with the moon at that time. I also base a lot of decisions, not as much on the sun as I do on the moon. However, I look to the sun and its energies and what's going on with the sun specifically in a cosmic sense, because I do love following that so much, like the energy of the sunspots, the CMEs, the coronal mass ejections, and the plasma energy that's directed at in our path, to see why is something going on, why is a specific event happening, why is this happening, and looking to the sun and the moon. I feel like they're equally important, but I guess you're just asking me what my favorite is. I don't have a favorite between the two. I really love them both so much in their own ways. The masculine energy of the sun and the feminine energy of the moon. I like them equally. What is your favorite crystal or stone? My favorite question. All right. It's hard for me to pick a favorite because I love them all for their various energies, vibrational alignments. They're all unique, and then they're unique to each one of us, I feel. But I'd have to say my all-time favorite that kind of has always been a favorite, and I suspect is a favorite for many of you, is amethyst. And I didn't put this ring on just because of this answer, but that's an amethyst Drew's ring that I recently got in Maui. And I just have always been drawn to amethyst over and over again. I have a big amethyst point that I wanted to pull out for this video, but it's working very well in a crystal grid. I'm looking at it right now, and I didn't want to pull it out of the grid to do the video. Trust me, it's gorgeous. But then I have other ones, and I have to say for the last year and a half, 2.5 years, Ahawite has really been a favorite of mine that keeps coming up again and again. And when I went to Tucson in 2014, I scooped up all the Ahawite I saw, which isn't a ton because it's very rare to come by. I scooped up some pretty amazing pieces, some for myself, and my intent was to sell the rest. Well, I haven't quite gotten around to it. I still have pieces set aside that I want to sell. And there was one mega bonsai piece that was totally meant to sell. That was my justification for paying what I paid for it. It's like, I'm going to sell it. Well, I can't quite bring myself to sell it. This was the piece I bought in 2013, an Ahawite. There's a little bit of blue in there. It's just a most perfect piece. It's almost a generator because all 6 facets almost meet at the apex, but not quite. So it's not a true generator, but it's just almost perfect. And it's very hard to find Ahawite in this condition. Then 2014 came and I found an even more amazing piece of Ahawite with even more blue in it. That's what makes Ahawite. It's clear quartz with this blue in it. This connects to your higher chakras. It's your transpersonal chakra connection, so the ones that go above your physical body into more of your aura. It's not as pretty as the other one, but to find a piece this large in pretty good condition, not as gorgeous as the other one, with this much blue in it, is absolutely really tough to do. And as I said, this was meant to be sold and I cannot bring myself to do it. So I think both pieces are going to be mine. So that's my favorites for now. You know, that can change, and I don't, exclusively work with them by any means. I work with all of them, but I love all crystals and stones. Okay, can you see spirits and spiritual beings? Okay, I'm not going to say like I am the expert on seeing this. I know other people, are really, really good at doing that. But there is a time of day when I notice that I can see them better. And again, this gets into the definition thing. Like, what's your definition of a spiritual being? Aren't we all spiritual beings? Am I not seeing a spiritual being when I'm talking to a person? I know that's not what you're talking about. But like plants are spiritual beings. So some people might say, well, no, that's kind of getting off track. Okay, so I noticed that late at night, especially when I'm getting ready to go to sleep, when you're in that in-between stage, I'll see things, in my peripheral vision. It's always in peripheral vision. It's never like straight head on. And I'll see shadows and movement. And I know that's some kind of spiritual energy. What is it exactly? I don't know. Again, am I tapping into another dimension? Am I seeing just the universal cosmic energy? What exactly is it? I don't have that, exact, I can't tell you that. But I'm seeing something, and I know it's not my imagination, and I know it's not, a flicker of a TV or something like that. All right, next question. Would you rather be able to fly in a broomstick? I really have no desire to do that. Breathe underwater? That would be kind of cool. Then it could be a mermaid, right? Make things grow fast. I can't really think of a situation where that would be a desire, but all of these things probably could come in handy. Superhero talents, right, can come in handy for something. Or control fire. I'm going to go with breathe underwater. That's a good one for me. since I like the mermaid energy so much. I would have a ball down there. That would be a blast. Also reminds me of that movie, The Abyss, that I liked so much. All right, what is the animal totem that you feel most connected to? Okay, that is definitely the sea turtle for me. Definitely sea turtle. Love sea turtle energy, always have. When I was learning how to deep sea dive, I don't know, do you call it deep sea dive? Scuba dive. A sea turtle came up upon me, and you're not supposed to go touch them because they're endangered species, but it came right up under me and swam next to me, and the dive instructor was like, that is so cool here in Florida. You don't usually see that. That is amazing. And I felt like that was a sign, and I work closely with the charity here for sea turtle restoration here in Boca Raton, and then also other sea turtle foundation that's abroad, and the name of it is escaping me right now, but it's on my website. But Hibiscus Moon Crystal Academy is philanthropic in both of those endeavors, and that's one of those, my big whys is helping those organizations, because sea turtles are very precious animals. They live a very long time. They're highly intelligent. They do, they can navigate. They use magnetism to navigate, and there's so many things about them that we still don't know. But it is my spirit totem animal. It's come up again and again when I do like an animal totem vision or something like that. That's the animal that always comes to me to give me a message or something like that. Okay, tell us about your first spirit guide. I have never had a spirit guide that I know of. I do download things, and it feels like it's just coming to me. I don't know that there's a spirit guide. I don't have that knowing. I know other people out there do. And definitely hear things from their guides and things like that. I don't have that gift. I wish I did, and I think it's a beautiful gift to have, but I don't. Do you feel more connected to the stars or the earth? Definitely the stars. Definitely the stars. I feel like I might be one of those early like sentinel indigo children, if you know a lot about that. A lot of my qualities come from that. I've had readings where I get told that over and over again without me prompting or anything like that. I'm so connected to outer space. It was one of my favorite things to learn about when learning science in school, in my grad studies. And physics just excites me to no end. I cannot get enough of it. I love star energy, definitely. As much as I love Mama Earth, stars have a total pull for me, and what's going on out there beyond in the universe, the multiverse, and beyond that just goes on and into infinity, and that I could think about and talk about that all day long. Okay, next one. What is your preferred method of blessing or cleansing? Now, Flora, I saw your answer on this, and I thought that was key. She said, well, those are two very different things, and they are to me too, but I'm going to keep it simple. Blessing would be probably just putting my intention into something, and doing like an intentional prayer is probably my favorite way of blessing something. And for cleansing out energy, I would say sage smudging, like for a space, to sage smudge the space. That's probably my favorite way. It's not my favorite way to cleanse, or I call it retune a crystal. For that, I'm going to throw that in there, is sound. Definitely vibrational frequency sound. Acoustic energy is my favorite way to cleanse a crystal or retune it. And the last question, what color do you feel most spiritually connected to? Definitely for me, purple. I love purple. I just seem to gravitate to it all the time. More so as an adult. When I was a kid, I just kind of never really had a favorite color. I think I used to just pick any color, but definitely purple. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the amethyst thing, right? Okay, so this was a long video. So my tag is anybody who's watching this who has not already done this tag. How do you like that? All right, so that's my easy way of getting out of that, because I just couldn't think of anybody who hadn't already done it, or that I still, knew in this YouTube community. And I know a lot of you aren't comfortable with doing the videos, so if you have watched this, you haven't done the tag, you're officially tagged. All right, everybody, namaste. See you all soon. Bye.